Morning, David.
We're not.
We're not. There we go.
Yeah, yeah, Les, that was a false start.
I wanted to beat you to it, David.
Weren't you a track? Didn't you used to run track for a while?
I did, yes.
Well,
Uh,
what was your distance?
it was 100 meters.
Okay, so you know about false starts.
I do. And that reminds me of my sophomore year when for state finals or straight qualification where I had a false start like twice. So like, okay,
Did that disqualify you from the race?
yeah,
Little. See, that's what my golf swing is like. It's jumpy,
it's Joe.
which doesn't work in golf, by the way.
Right.
Anyway, today we're going to talk about a very actually serious topic, forgiveness. And one of our goals, we just want to depersonalize this whole thing called anxiety and anger. It's just a survival response. And when you're threatened, you get activated or anxious. And when you can't control the situation, you get hyperactivated in an effort to try to control it, and you become angry. So we're going to try to use the words activated and hyperactivated today. We're getting used to this terminology ourselves, but it's just a word that describes the state of your body's physiology. This word forgiveness, words carry a lot of meaning. And the word forgiveness is too big of a word, I think, to start with. Remember, we have the input, the nervous system, and the output. And forgiveness is input. You may not get there right away. And there's lots of connotations of forgiveness of people. For me, from a religious background, there's about love, compassion, et cetera, et cetera. And in the face of ongoing abuse, that's a little tough to do, especially in ongoing pain, which ongoing pain every day is ongoing abuse in a way. You're being assaulted by unpleasant situations. Nobody believes you. You have a right to be angry, honestly. And when you're trapped for years, Dr. Sarno called it rage. And that represents a very hyperactivated nervous system, which fires up your inflammatory response, which makes the pain worse, which makes you more angry. So, what our goal is today is I'm going to hear Dr. Arya's insights today. I'm going to try to listen at least for a minute. Yeah, 1 minute, go.
Have 1 minute. There we go. No pressure. Yeah, I think it's a very important topic. You know, a lot of my patients who've had horrific past developmental trauma is what we call it in adulthood, and regardless of what it is it impacts us and impacts our nervous system. You know, we often say trauma, whether it's a car accident, you know, growing up, people that abused us or weren't there for us, regardless of what it is it really impacts the event, finally shifts into an experience in the body, and that experience is the nervous system. And what you're offering, David, today is a very important topic. Many of my patients tell me is, I know I need to forgive, but I'm not ready yet. And one of the reasons why most of my patients are not ready to forgive is because they believe that forgiving, this is a common myth, is letting that person off the hook, or that situation or the work situation off the hook, or that accident, or the surgeon who didn't do something right,
Right,
or right.
right.
So in that sense, that anger is there, and that anger turns into this hate and this seething of loathing someone or the situation. And to forgive, most people believe, is to let someone off the hook, and that's a myth.
You know, I
Um,
think you hit it on the head. That's exactly why forgiveness is the wrong word. So we
yeah,
now call it anger processing. Remember, the genealogy of anger is circumstance, blame, victim, anger. But one of the reasons people don't like to give up anger is that you get to feel vulnerable, and we hate feeling vulnerable. So
yep,
we hope, and so I've also learned myself after many years of doing this that anger is so powerful that I can do the doc journey forever. I can do the remedy pain journey forever, and I'm never going to want to give up this thing called anger because it's powerful. It
yep,
may not be powerful, but it feels powerful, and we don't like to feel vulnerable. So we hold on to it. But why do you want somebody that you really dislike a lot, maybe despise, in your face every day? Because the way the brain works as a linkage system, if you think about that person, they're taking away the quality of your day today. So you're giving them power. So the person you like the least is now has control of your life. And we're talking about Father's Day tomorrow. A lot of people hold on to family trauma of decades ago, and we know it's not correct, but we still do it. We
yep.
hold on to the past. So intellectually, we know this is not the right thing to do, but we don't know how to break it.
Yeah, I think we all get into a habit, me like you, like all of us, and we all have some level. We have people that have done us wrong, and we hold on to it. Sometimes we think we're forgiven and it shows up again. And there's a wonderful book by Thich Nhat Hanh, a Zen Buddhist. And Thich Nhat Hanh wrote this book called Anger, and it's a beautiful book. And he says basically this. He goes, "How do you know you're forgiven? Because when you recall the situation, you feel upset, but you get back down into into your breath. You feel like I've dealt with it. How do you know you've not dealt with it? Is you go back up there and you pay your psychologist and therapist another $150 to punch a pillow, so to speak, is what his analogy is in the book. But what you're saying is this is really even the word forgiveness is activating. So
Right.
let's look at processing. I think that's a really unique perspective, David, that you offer. And also the other perspective you're offering is this is, when you are around someone or a situation, if possible, you don't have to subject yourself to that person. Even like I said, this weekend as Father's Day, is if someone is you don't feel like being activated, you don't have to be there. I think society sometimes forces us to like things that have been inappropriate, toxic to us. So I stay away from toxic people. I try to minimize my contact for that matter. But it's being aware of that anger and how it's showing up is very important, because when you can recognize, if you don't recognize the wrath in you, people will surely recognize the wrath outside of you, because this is where forgiveness is key.
So Les, I have a Davidism this morning.
Wow, hold on there.
Okay, we're going to try to get rid of the word. We're trying to get rid of the word forgiveness. Okay, so
Yeah.
we have a little phrase called flipping the switch. It's so powerful, you're never going to want to give it up. So the first concept I have today, I have three of them, by the way, is flipping the switch. And it worked. I mean, I'm in it. So the second thing is, this isn't a Davidism. This is a Fred Luskinism, who wrote the book Forgive for Good. It's that anger happens every day. We somehow think with forgiveness, there's like one blanket forgiveness and your life will change. It happens every day. So it's an ongoing learn skill. I probably have to quote forgive or process anger 8 to 10 times a day, every day, sometimes an hour. I get
Wow.
triggered all the time. And my wife will tell you, I don't like traffic. I don't mind getting cut off in traffic, but I can't stand a traffic jam.
Mhm.
So I'm activated, right?
Yeah.
So, so I'm not going to suppress that, but I got to get myself back. I have to get my body chemistry back down.
Yeah.
So we call it flipping the switch. To me, forgiveness, let's get rid of the word or try to. It's just simply cutting the string of the person who's in your life. Why do you want to give somebody that you really dislike that much power over your life today? So it's like a millisecond decision. Okay, I've had enough of this. I'm going to switch directions. And then the final thought, which I'll let you finish this up, you get to take the ball over the goal line here today, is that truly people get better at their writing, relaxation, awareness, meditation, mindfulness. They get better, but they don't truly heal until they can let go.
Yeah.
You're not going to hold. It's really the shortcut to healing, and it's unbelievable, including myself. My story happened. I got a lot better over 6 months as I started the writing exercises. I didn't know I was a victim. When I came face to face with it and processed it, by the way, very badly, but I processed it, I started to heal. All my symptoms disappeared. All my 17 physical symptoms disappeared. But it had to do with and I didn't know about body chemistry, but what was happening, I was taking my body's hyperactivated state and bringing it back into safe or neutral, which, by the way, I didn't know much about. So flip the switch. That's my goal today, or your goal. Um, Processing anger is your shortcut to healing, and just depersonalize the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
I think
that's my wisdom
fantastic,
today.
David.
What's that?
Yeah, I think the wisdom is great. We just want to remind folks to take a look at some very good work done by phenomenal work. Fred Luskin, a good friend of yours, and Forgive for Good is a great book. Another book that I'm recommending is Thich Nhat Hanh, and it's called Anger. He's the Zen Buddhist monk, which is a very unique perspective he offers. And one of the things that I'd like to offer our audience is one of the fastest way to downregulate your overactive nervous system, because it floods you with memories when we even think about that person. So to reduce that sense of over processing is try this. I have two options for the group, but and maybe next tomorrow, David, we'll walk them through it and walk people through alternate nostril breathing or the 478. So my offering for today is just for simplicity is check out my YouTube channel that has the 478 breathing. So type in 478 in YouTube and less aria, and it should come up. So highly
Right. And
recommend.
and again, we will come off the topic of anger next week, but we're going to stick on it for a while, for a few weeks after that, because it really is a big deal and it really interferes with their life in a huge way. And the more legitimate your anger, the harder it is to let it go. So just drop your shoulders for a second, everybody. Let's do the 5-second active meditation. And I have to tell you, even thinking about the stuff we talked about, I mean, I had a horribly abusive past. I get to think about that for a few minutes. So it activates me.
Yeah.
And that's never going to disappear. So I got to drop my shoulders, just drop down a little bit, and you're changing the state of your body's inflammation, and life goes on. So flip the switch. Don't have to be a victim today. That flipping may last for a minute, maybe an hour, maybe a day, maybe 10 seconds, but just flip it. Keep flipping that switch for the day.
That's
Thank you,
awesome.
Dr. Arya. This is Dynamic Healing Moments with Dr. Les Arya and David Hanscom. My work is on the dlcjourney.com, and Les's work is on remedypain.co. Did I get that right, Les?
You did it. You did it.
Repetition finally helps, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All
Have a
right,
great
we'll see
everyone.
you tomorrow. All right, thanks.